Hi everyone, si Dr. Cortez. Happy Sunday. Today is August 31 and let us continue with our lesson for subject Technology for Teaching and Learning. For lesson 9, we are now in week 9. Title is Digital Citizenship. Once again, this is Dr. Cortez. Before we go to the lesson, let's get first the learning outcomes of our lesson for today. So once again, it's important for you guys to lay down the learning outcomes of your subject. In high school, we call this the learning competencies as part of the syllabus. So basically, by the end of the lesson, your students, your learners should know or will be able to know the following. Describe the community of learners as citizens who share and utilize digital materials. It's important that our learners are not only cognitively good or intelligent, but they should also good socially and ethical in dealings with their peers, with school officials, teachers, academic community, especially when they are dealing with online sources, when dealing with in online classes, kasi they are inside a digital classroom and sometimes they will be doing some adverse things like example in one of my classes na mga college students to may kalokohan pa rin eh. In MS Team, sometimes yung isang classmate pagtripan, they will remove the classmate from the meet. So, pag tinawag ng teacher, absent, they can automatically remove eh. So, if you don't know the ins and outs of your learning management system, hindi mo alam i-manipulate or you don't know how to prevent students from doing adverse things, eh may kalokohan talaga itong mga to. And it is also important for us sa mga next lesson natin to identify samples of intellectual property rights in the educational setting. They should know social, ethical, and legal responsibilities in the use of technology tools and resources. Although resources are online, they should also be ethical in using. Example, they should not only be downloading materials and to be submitted as their assignment. They should be responsible enough, like for example, to rephrase or cite, credit the sources of their materials before submitting online. Ang estudyante kasi yung just copy pasting then submit online, halatang paste at halatang hindi mo lang ni-rephrase. Malalaman mo naman kasi pag rephrase or hindi yung material sa composition pa lang ng kanilang mga paragraph eh, malalaman mo na yun eh. At least they should be citing different educational sites and portals, di ba? They are using. Okay, and since they are digital citizen, digital students, learners, they should know yung mga how to interrelate, how to connect, how to collaborate in an online learning communities and resources. Yung ating mga target after the lesson are the things that you guys should be capable of doing. And for this week number 9, yung ating topic, digital citizenship, the elements, intellectual property, guidelines for online posting, for example, and manners when using technology. First topic, So we're going to read this one. So I'm laying down here the background of our presentation before we know our duty as digital citizen. Whether you are the learner or educator, we have the rights and responsibilities now. Basically, we as citizen, not social, not digital citizen, but basic. You know this one that we have the rights and responsibilities. Whether you are in the city, in barangays, you are using social media, regardless of your situation, your location, you are bound to follow those obligations and exercise those rights. And because you are not only member of a local community where you are located, but dyan tayo, and we access the internet, we are now part of the cyber community. So we should be aware of those rights. And if you have those rights, it follows that you should also have your responsibility. So I'm an internet user now, so that is the background of first topic for today. And I have here the Venn diagram. So we are pairing yung dalawang aspect of being a citizen, whether you are an internet user or a Filipino citizen. Filipino citizen versus internet user, or you are what we call the cyber citizen. Yung mga nasa Filipino citizenship naman, basically we know those things, right? Example, we have rights like voting, paying our taxes, participates in political, cultural exercises, and protecting. You are being protected by the Bill of Rights. We have the basic rights, example, connection to education. We have the rights for expression. But of course, if we have rights, that is also subject to police power of the government. Siyempre, for us not to abuse our rights, meron dapat check and balance. So, the government has this police power. So, lahat ng rights now are subject to police power or regulating our rights. The same thing with being an internet user or a cyber citizen or digital citizen, because we are in a cyber security. Example, if you are in a cyber security as digital citizen, you should participate in digital communities. No? Ganun din pag sa physical world, we have this, we huddle, we convene, example, in a barangay community. Ganun din sa ating cyber community. Kasi meron tayong mga group chat na ginagawa. We have Google Classroom, for example. Now, pag meron tayong mga community, ulit sa barangay, di ba? Barangay, they are having us to follow, to comply with rules in our barangay or any other form of community. Ganun din sa cyber security. Meron tayong mga rules na to be followed set by platforms. Example, Zoom. Meron tayong mga sinusunod ang protocol or etiquette if you are in a classroom or digital classroom, whether that is in Zoom or Google Meet, meron tayong sinusunod na din. Dito nga sa MS-STEM, we are familiar with MS-STEM before kasi mayroong mga estudyanteng they are removing their classmates sa MS-STEM. Parang if they don't like some of their classmates or they are just pranking their classmates, tinatanggal nila sa MS-STEM. So that is not unethical, di ba? Tatanggalin nila. So those are some of the protocols or etiquette na dapat sinusunod natin when we are in a cyber community. We have the freedom to communicate, express, but
We should engage in online communication and content sharing ethically. So, yung mga sinusunod natin kasi meron din mga crime na pwede mangyari sa internet or sa digital world. Ayan. So, but a common denominator for Filipino citizen or your digital citizen, pareho tayo mayroong freedom of expression and privacy. Yan ang common denominator ng dalawang citizenship for the physical world and the digital. So we should follow both expressing or respecting freedom of the other person, freedom to express, and their freedom or yung privacy ng ating mga sinusunod sa ating Venn diagram, especially if educators natin, mga learners natin. Okay, so let's move on sa ating next one. Ito ay just additional comparison. A good citizen versus an excellent digital citizen, but we can focus on the column to your right. Kasi ito yung mga pinag-usapan natin sa technology, no? Yung being an excellent digital citizen. For example, number 1, a digital citizen should advocate for equal digital rights and access for all. The data, 5 million school-age children do not have internet access at home. So we are lucky if we have gadgets like laptops, tablets, or cell phones, or we have the internet connectivity. But in other countries, in other communities, wala silang ganitong privilege na experience natin. Kahit sa city, di naman lahat sa city meron ka pero mga laptop, we have students, I have students that they don't have gadgets. They don't have laptops, The cellphones nga lang I have a handful of students, pero hindi naman ganun karami. But sometimes, I can experience those students that they don't have cellphones. Kaya hindi pa nakapag-take ng exam kasi wala pa akong cellphone. Minsan nasira, Pero pag nasira, pwede pa gawa kagad. Pero may mga sundali talagang wala talaga silang cellphone na ginagamit. So not all of them have access to digital. They don't have digital access. The second one, as a digital citizen, they should understand all perspective. Data services, 91% of surveyed Gen Z youth use technology to gain perspective on people different from themselves. Ay, maganda yung ganitong number ng data, Yung bang you have different perspective na nakukuha even if you are not asking them, but by just viewing their post, nalalaman mo yung kanilang perspective. And you can mag-survey, Kasi nakalagay minsan, example, last election. Kasi mo sila tanungin kung sino yung kanilang preferred senatorial candidates last time. But based on their post, nalalaman natin yung kanilang perspective. And third, digital citizens should respect privacy, intellectual property, and other rights of people online. Privacy, intellectual property. Intellectual property, pag-usapan natin sa bandang sa tail end ng ating lesson. But survey says 80% of UK, although this is not in the country, hindi dito sa Pilipinas, but sabi ng survey, 80% of UK students believe knowing about intellectual property rights is essential for their future careers. Sa UK, estudyante nila, they know what is intellectual property. Hindi lang, be aware that you should be respecting intellectual property. I don't think there is a research in the country, in the Philippines, if what is the data about this. Kaya maganda yung ganitong mga pwede mo sa maging subject. Example, you are now a public or private teacher and can conduct a research about this one, about this data intellectual property perspective, but in the Philippine context naman, no? Yung gagawin mong scope. And number 4, digital citizen communicates and acts with empathy for other person, humanity, via digital channels, di ba? Knowing their perspective, feelings, putting ourselves in their shoes, dapat nating malaman. Services, 88% of teens who use social media have witnessed other people being cruel at exposed sa mga teens. Kitang-kita nila yung cruelty, crime, cruelty, pranks, fraud na nangyari online. Exposed sila dyan, 88%. So they should be aware if the effect, the impact of cruelty online. Susundin ba, gagayahin ba, or they will totally avoid. Or they will be aware that they should not be doing those things na cruelty online. Anyway, the internet is there, so we can't avoid expose, siguro guidance lang sa mga mga teens kasi ito, mga teens. Kumaga, hindi na sila mga bata na i-guide, hindi talaga mga elementary students na we can use this subject to guidance from parents. Yung mga teens kasi, dalaga na to, di ba? Okay, so more on citizenship in the digital age. Number 5, an excellent digital citizen applies critical thinking to all online sources and does not share non-credible sources, including fake news or advertisement. Sa iwas sa pag-share, baka fake news. Sometimes we are victim of this one. Kala natin totoo siya. When we shared, then suddenly we realize, nabas ka bigla sa social media. Ba't ka nagbabalita lang? Ba't ka nagsishare ang gano'n? Buhay pa naman yun ha. Then you will now retract your posting. Naranasan ko na ito minsan. Number 5, a celebrity suddenly died. Then I shared that online. Yung pala, fake news. So in that case, I was not responsible enough to verify. Parang spur of the moment, parang nadala ako dun sa balita, hindi pala totoo. Services, 80% of students mistake sponsored content ads for legit. Ayan, so marami kasing naloloko na yung balita is legit. Yung pala, at the end, hindi pala sa masyadong totoo. Na-share na natin masyadong malaki, 80%. Kasi nga naman, di ba? Talagang first look at it, napaka-credible or napaka-genuine, authentic yung balita or yung news. So, minsan, kapaniwala na akong ganito, yung pala, minsan you are the victim or you're the recipient of fake news. Sometimes, ikaw din yung nagsasend ng mga fake news. Research says 77, number 6 tayo, leverages technology to advocate for and advance social causes. So, gagamitin natin yung social media in advancing our advocacy like environmental protection, wages, protection of the children, rights of the children, di ba? Research, 77 of students share social or environmental information in social networks. So very powerful yung social media. The same thing that you can be destroyed, it can be destructive. Yung social media, ganun sa ka-powerful. Number 7, last one, an excellent digital citizen should be mindful of physical, emotional, and mental health while using digital tools. So pag nasa classroom mga students natin, they are sabi dito, emotional presence, cognitive presence, social. So, ganoon din sa mga online classes natin. They can be subject or they can be affected by emotional presence ng mga kanilang classmates online or kanilang mga colleague online or kausap. 94% of teen drivers acknowledge the dangers of texting and driving, but 35% admitted to doing it. Anyway, so ang maganda sa internet, lahat can be informed of good values or reminders. 94%, do you know this one? Problem is, kahit alam na nila yan, na example, the danger of texting, the danger of meeting people online, danger of talking to somebody online, 94%, you know this one, the risk. Kaya lang, ginagawa pa rin nila. 35% admitted that even if they know the risk, the danger of doing those things, 35% ay ginagawa pa rin nila. Kaya mga survey, no? Yan ang mga dapat gawin ng isang excellent digital citizen and the data provided, no? Based sa research. Okay, so let's move on. Exploring the 9 elements of digital citizenship. Sources are everywhere. I have told you this one before na we are in the information age. All types of info ay nandiyan sa ating at the tip of our fingertips. Yan. It's the reason that giving importance to technology and education extends all aspect of a student's life. So we have this group, International Society for Technology and Education. It outlined 9 elements of digital citizenship to help students, maybe the educator as well, to navigate online resources. We're going to talk about those 9 elements na we can be beneficial of as teachers. At yung mga learners din natin, we can share this one. The learners. Okay, so let's dive into this one. Elements. The first elements of digital citizenship, syempre, we can advocate digital info, digital education kung wala silang access. Wala silang gagamitin, so what is the use of teaching online? So the first element is digital access. With the use of technology, the teacher can facilitate helping students from disadvantaged communities, barangay, Pilipinas mas marami po sa Pilipinas yung rural areas. Sorry, don't have. Although may mga rural areas sa Pilipinas na they already have access to the technology, to the internet. Pero meron pa rin wala. Meron pang lugar, walang kuryente sa atin. How much more if having internet access? We should teach them how to find valuable and safe information on the internet. This one is one of the rules of the educator or teacher. Mga info na sa internet na. So we don't have to feed this to them. Ang ating rule dito is to facilitate, to tell them saan pwedeng kunin and how to use the info. Yan, we are just facilitating, no? We're no longer spoon feeding the info sa kanila kasi nandiyan na. Paano nila gagamitin ng info? Yan ang ating pwedeng gawin as educator or teacher. The second element, digital etiquette. Meron silang access. Right? Ibang usapan yung meron pang access, baka may access and they were overwhelmed kung anong ginagawa nila sa internet. So there should be digital etiquette. Being rude, how to be polite, avoiding being rude sa internet. It's concerning every digital user with respect. Respect all users, mga kausap natin. Respect their time, their opinions, their values, their privacy, and avoid inappropriate conduct and demonstrating the essential virtual manner, being aware of the outcome of cyberbullying. We can be the victim. Kahit tayo mga adult or educator, we can be victims of bullying. No? Kaya may impact sa atin. Pero if we can imagine how much more is the impact of cyberbullying doon sa mga learners natin. Example, mga sa basic din pa lang ng mga elementary students, junior high school students were very prone to cyberbullying. Ang mga madalas mong bully, mga nasa school, mga basic ed lang. Sa college, meron pa rin. We have the students that were victims of cyberbullying sa college. They will just rub it off, pero sa elementary or high school, maybe they can't just shrug it off. Ang impact sa mas malalim. So to avoid this one, if we are as a responsible digital citizen, we should refrain from cyberbullying, masyadong patinding pangbabash sa mga kaya may iba't ibang they will just shut down their social media to avoid cyberbullying. Kasi may impact yung cyberbullying. Pag physical, pag kayo nag-aaway, kayo-kayo lang, di ba? Harapan. Pero kung cyberbullying, nag-post ka, hindi na siya nakakabasa. Hindi marami pang mga lahat sa kanyang social media. Okay, the fourth one, digital commerce. This refers to selling and buying in the digital market beautifully. Kahit mga estudyante, nagbebentahan siya nagbibintahan sila online. Plus, digital citizen, we are not just communicating, we are not just teaching, we are not just learning, we can also do buying and selling. Kaya mga estudyante natin pwedeng gawin, nagbibenta, live selling. Ang uso sa mga teens, di ba? I have lots of students that have been doing online selling. So, as part of digital commerce na kitaan. Sabi ko mga marketing students ko sige, that is a practice naman if you are doing online selling, di ba? Kasi marketing students to boost your confidence. Yung important, hindi masyadong, even if you are not earning that much, yung online selling, but on the other side, you're boosting your confidence. Natututo ka magbenta, mag-communicate, tatanggal ang iyong inhibitions, anxiety, shyness, tanggal. Mga introvert, that's good one is good training, no? Ikaw nalalabas ng bahay mo, di ba? That's good training, mga online live selling. Kahit walang masyadong kitain, but it boosts your confidence. Ang magandang aspect. Pagdating sa school, gagamit sa recitation, yung kanilang training, yung kanilang yung guts na pagharap sa camera. Alright, so digital rights and responsibilities important. We know how to act politely, but we should also know our responsibilities and right. It is just like freedom of speech that all students have, I believe, while using the internet. Meron tayong responsibility. Hindi lang gamit mga learners natin. This one is a privilege. Using the internet is a privilege, and making sure that these rights remain available for everyone by treating other users fairly, respecting their privacy. So, if you want to be respected, if you want your privacy, respect. Mamaya pag-usapan natin ang mga rules or guidelines in posting, before posting, so that you will not violate privacy intellectual property rights ng mga taong kausap natin sa internet. And then the fifth element, digital literacy. This refers to teaching internet skills in class to help bridge gaps in digital literacy, and by doing so, students will display the ability to learn how to use technology and access. So, sabi nga na access is different from digital literacy. Magkaiba yung responsibility, access, and digital literacy. Kasi ito kasi yung if you are now have access, if you know your rights and responsibility, punta na kayo sa paano gagamitin yung technology, sharing online, learning, teaching online. Example, how to where to get information. Tayo mga teachers, our rule is to guide the students where to get the info na pwede nilang gamitin. Kasi hindi na natin tinuturo sa kanila, di ba? Bigyan mo yung link sa kanila. Paano gagamitin, how to paraphrase, rephrase using tools sa internet. There's digital literacy na pwede nating ituro sa mga learners natin. Paano ano mga tools ang pwedeng gamitin, example for paraphrasing or grammar checking, ano ba? Or summarizing. If we have project about video, where to get guide on what tools to be used in editing the video. Yan. Ano ba? Translating. How to create content. Yun. Saan pwede kumuha ng PowerPoint na built-in PowerPoint. They will just enter the text and the tools itself will now generate the PowerPoint for students. So, yung mga sample rules natin, we don't have to give them the content, no? Kasi nasa na yan. We're just giving the references sa kanila, how to conduct research. Yeah. Okay, the next one, digital law. This encompasses guidelines, policies, and rules set by an organization for using the internet. Example, preventing plagiarism and putting phones away in classes na. Kasi as digital citizen, we are accessing lots of info, references online, but we should know the rules of the plagiarism, rules of copyright, how the legal ethics, the ethical, the legal rights of the owners, and how to cite citation, no? We should always cite or ask permission doon sa may-ari ng isang online sources na ating ginagamit online. Okay, so let's move on. Digital communication is something to do with the importance of teaching students to communicate safely, whether that is through texting, emailing, social media, and online games. No? So, may mga etiquette or protocols tayong sinusunod if we are trying to communicate online. Example, emailing. Yan. Pag may nag-email sa'yo and you have given him the email, o kaibigan mo naman siya, so first in the morning, pag-ising pa lang natin, we check the emails, di ba? Then we reply to the emails kasi unethical or it is not polite ignore yung mga emails na nasa ating mga inboxes. Especially if binigay mo email address mo sa kanya, tapos nag-email sa'yo, then he will not reply. Will ignore the emails. That is rude. That is being impolite sa communication. Okay, and we have the digital health and wellness. These are proper practices in the use of the internet. Example, pag ginabot ka yung mga ilang oras na ikaw ay nakaupo, no? So proper proper posture. Kasi if you have been using the internet, if you have been using your laptop or desktop, 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can imagine the effect of this one to your posture. For example, stress on your eyes. So kahit may digital access ka and you're practicing responsible communication on the internet, number 8 natin, we should also not forget yung ating personal lives, health, and wellness. No? Baka ikaw ay sobrang polite sa internet, sobrang polite, you have been answering all your emails, nakalimutan yung digital health mo and wellness. No? Yung mata mo, malabo na. Yung posture mo, you're not practicing proper posture correctly. So we should avoid too much screen time. Meron tayong sinusunod na di ba? You can, if you have not known this one yet, you can use this, no? Personally, or sa mga learners nyo later on sa academe or sa basic ed, no? The 2020 rules. Maybe some of you know this one, the 2020 rules. I've been practicing this one for the past 10 years na, pero minsan nakalimutan mo rin, di ba? The 2020, so tatlong 20s to. 20, 20, 20. The first 20, every 20 minutes. Example, you are using your laptop or desktop. Every 20 minutes, you take a break. That is the first 20 . Every 20 minutes, you take a break. Kasi wag dire-diretso, wag sa oras na you are staring at your screen. Sa oras tapos yung mata mo, labo na. Take a break after 20 minutes. That's the first 20. The second 20 is you look at a green object 20 feet away. Yan pangalawang 20. You look at a green object. Example, trees, plants. That is 20 feet away. Dapat nag-break ka, internet, laptop, nag-break ka. 20 minutes, okay. So, you move your eyes and direct it to the thing 20 feet away. Green, maganda green objects, no? Ang stress reliever ng mata yan. Yung pangalawang 20. Yung pangatlong 20 seconds. Sabihin, you stay at the object that is 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Yan. 20 minutes, 20 feet away, and 20 seconds. Pagkatapos niyan, after 20 seconds, so balik ka na. Yung screen. Ayan. Especially sa mga, sa mga bata, kaya naman marami nga nagsasalamin ng makakapal, di ba? Sa mga learners natin. Ayan. So, basically, protect them physically and protect them psychologically. Kasi minsan mayroon silang yung mga nambubuli sa internet, or they have been so affected by their the things they are viewing at the internet, example, websites or mga naglalaro, diba? Diba dati may nabalita na a group of children were too engrossed sa isang personality sa internet, then yung sinasabi ng personality ay ginagawa nila real life, with suicide, for example. Anyway, padalong balita dati, no? And number 9 is the last one. Digital security is to ensure internet safety lessons for children. It could include anything from why privacy online is important, what to do if they encounter cyberbullying in the net. Iba kasing mga learners, pag na-bullying, he will confine it to themselves, hindi sila nagsasabi. So, especially yung mga nasa elementary, so important pa rin yung guidelines ng mga parents, mga basic ed learners, na important pa rin guidance ng mga parents where they can filter out kung anong binubi ng mga anak nila sa internet as part of digital security. So mga nine elements of digital citizenship, digital learnings. So move tayo sa intellectual property rights applicable to the educational setting. We're going to talk about copyright, plagiarism, related copyright law. So I'm going to introduce you to Donald Maccabe. Donald Maccabe is a professor, academician in Rutgers University. Meron siyang ginawang research connected, or we can refer to his researches dealing with learners, mga digital learners natin today in the 21st century online. He conducted this one. The number of university students meron siyang ginawang research na about using the internet, about plagiarism, about copyright. Yan. So mga data niya is just for us, that is an eye-opening. All the scope of the research is not in the country, but important is we can be aware of those things na pwede na mangyari sa Philippine context, or you can have this topic as your subject of own research. Pwede mo siyang gawa ka ng related study sa Philippine context by following the scope na ginawa ni Donald Maccabe. I'm going to present this one in this example. Is survey of over 63,700 undergraduate students and 9,250 graduate students. Ito yung kanyang scope. These are the respondents of this research, mga undergrad students. The first one is the percentage. Ganun karaming percentage of undergraduates admit to paraphrasing, copying few sentences from internet without footnoting. Meron pa rin percentage sa mga estudyante copying from the internet na hindi pa pinaparaphrase. Ayan. Kaya lang, hindi nila ginagamit ang footnote. Sa research kasi nila, if you are going to take a data or info from the internet, kahit yan ay na-paraphrase mo, na-rephrase mo, dapat mo pa rin i-cite or i-footnote yung original author ng materials. Kasi failure to cite yung author, that is mensurate to plagiarism. So, meron pa rin percentage sa mga estudyante na gumagawa ng they are not footnoting, hindi gumagamit ng footnote. Next data, 38% of students admit to paraphrasing few from written sources without footnoting it. So you should know how to paraphrase. Meron namang mga tools how to do phrasing. Okay? So pinagkaiba ng kulay dilaw, copying from internet. Ito naman, copying from written sources. 38% pinupo sa libro, nag-paraphrase, pero hindi nag-footnote. Libro ito naman sa online sources. The third one, 14% of students admit to fabricating, falsifying a bibliography. Pag kumuha ka ng internet sources, important yung pinanggalingan. yung sources ng yung para credible, di ba? Website, journals, books, e-books, magazines, blogs, seminars. So dapat nilagay sa bibliography. Example, you are doing research there. Kasi pag nagpapa-assignment tayo, mga learners natin, important that we should present the sources, the bibliography and sources. Now, the thing is, they have downloaded or they have copied something from the internet, from social media sources, from websites. Nakalimutan kunin ng bibliography. And the tendency for them is to fabricate or falsify a bibliography. May mga students akong ganun eh. Example, the topic is research, senior high school, practical research ang topic. Sabi ko, you list down all the references kasi ilalagay sa likod yan. Di ba siguro nakalimutan, they are just falsifying kasi nakikita mo, di ba? Example, sa kanilang citation, nakalagay yung pangalan ng author and year. Pero pag hinanap po sa bibliography, wala. Ibang nakalagay. So they are fabricating. Okay, the next one. Percentage, 7% of students self-report copying materials almost word for word from a written source without citation. Ito dalawang unethical practices. Copying from online source word for word, hindi ni-rephrase. Kasi nga, di ba, basic naman to. If you will get something from the internet, you should rephrase, not verbatim. Hindi siya dapat word for word. You should express the online from online sources in your own word. Ang pangalawa dito, nag-word for word na siya, hindi pa binanggit yung original sources, hindi pa nag-citation. So, this is plagiarism. Kasi usapan na natin, di ba? If you have gotten something from the internet, you rephrase, you paraphrase the materials that verbatim, and you should cite. So, hindi po ka nag-rephrase ka na, hindi mo na cite. That is wrong. That is plagiarism. Kaya tag-citation ka na, tag-citation ng mga learners natin, they should still cite the author, the year of publication, and those, and the bibliography. Next one, 7%. Self-report, turning in work done by another person. Yan. So parang inako yung kanyang research. Example, article o research ng ibang tao tapos ginamit mo na inako mo na sa'yo. Meron akong mangyari ganito, no? Without mentioning names, well, yung research, kinopya sa isang university. Nahuli nung panelist. Yan. So, napahiya yung estudyante, napahiya yung school, napahiya yung research director ng university. Yan. 7% lang naman eh. Masyadong marami. Next one, 3%. Kunti na lang, 3% na lang. 3% report obtaining paper from term paper mill. Kung wala pang internet, usong-uso yung term paper mill, no? Kasi di ba in high school we have high school pa lang we have experience writing term paper. If I can recall, no, una kong ginawang term paper was in high school, maybe 4th year high school. The subject was social studies. Kami talaga yung gumawa. Walang reference, walang online references, but encyclopedia ang aming ginagamit namin dati sa aming term paper. Pag may tamad estudyante, they will go to term paper mill. Basically, term paper mill, ibig sabihin may mga scrupulous person na gumagawa ng term paper for other person, of course for a fee. Diba? Ang gitin pa natin, si downtown Manila, ang dami yan, diba, sa Recto. Maraming ganun na. Sa U-Belt, maraming ganun mga shops na gumagawa ng term paper. Ngayon kasi hindi na masyadong uso yung gano'n kasi marami ng sources. Ginagawa lang naman yan ng mga students pag hirap silang magsulat. Ngayon kasi they can just download para pa rin rephrase. Maraming sources online. So 3% na lang daw yung papatronize ng paper mill business. So wala masyadong kita yung mga nasa U-belt na mga shops na gumagawa ng kung ano-anong mga projects for students. Babayaran lang sila.
So those are our lesson for today, and I would like to credit the following for the resources that I have been using for the past few lessons and for the next few lessons. And with that, once again, thank you for attending my class. See you again sa mga future lessons natin. And pwede kong pa request to subscribe to my channel. Maraming salamat. And before I forgot, after you have viewed this lesson, I'll be uploading the assessment quiz for this one. As usual, you can do the assessment after all your classes today. Di ba hanggang 4 o'clock kayo? But you can do the assessment after 4 o'clock. It is open naman until 11 o'clock today. And if it is not possible for you guys to do the assessment, to do the quiz, I can reopen man yan sa mga magpapa-excuse. Kasi for example, you will be having an appointment or task this evening. Hindi mo sasagutan ng quiz natin. Just heads up me, I can always reopen yung link. Huwag lang masyadong matagal, no? Example, pag hindi available now, you can do the assessment on Monday, Tuesday. Huwag lang later part ng week. Huwag lang Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So once again, thank you. Thank you all.